All right, welcome to the podcast playground where podcasters come to play. Today, my guest is no other than Fidel Donaldson, author, writer, and let me tell you, minister. Welcome.
It's a blessing to be on the playground.
Well,
I must say, it's been a minute since I've been on the playground.
Man, look at here. These monkey bars and swing sets are still the same. Ain't nothing changed.
Nothing changed but the weather, but it's a blessing. Thank you for the open door to get on the playground and to just chop it up a little bit.
Well, definitely, man. You are always welcome and invited to this wonderful playground.
Appreciate
it. It is all about inclusivity, not exclusivity.
Thank you.
Who is Fidel?
In answering that question, I think the most important way for me to answer it is that I'm born again of the Spirit through the cleansing of the blood of Jesus. So in describing who Fidel is, I would first and foremost say a citizen of the kingdom of Almighty God. That's first. And then second, I would say born on the island of Jamaica, one of 7 children. And those are some of the things that shape who I am. Where I was born in the natural, but also my born again experience. So I'm Jamaican by natural birth, but I'm kingdom by spiritual birth.
Okay, so you got that dual birth citizen.
As every believer has, right?
Right, you got that dual birth citizenship.
Yeah, as we all have. If you're a believer,
right,
you're conceived in your mama's womb and you're birthed out into the natural at some point. But when you have that encounter with the Lord, then you have your new birth. So you're right, dual citizenship, I love it.
That's what I'm talking about. Hey, look, nobody wants to be a single citizen. You ain't got to worry about ICE coming to get you. Not for this. The only person you got to worry about is the one that you didn't pray for.
That's I'm glad you mentioned that because with a lot that's going on in the United States and the world today, I think what people need to understand is this: the number one citizenship to have is citizenship in the kingdom of the Almighty, which for me comes through the Christ.
Yeah, it can't be revoked by no man.
That's the beauty of it. No one can detain you. No one can take that citizenship from you. So make sure you have that citizenship first because that's going to impact you for eternity. And
you don't need a gold card for it. Just saying, don't pay that money.
That's what I'm saying. you don't need all of that, right? So get the number one citizenship, and because one citizenship is temporal, right?
Right.
Wherever you're born, you have a certain amount of time that you're going to live as a citizen of that particular country or nation. But the other citizenship is more important because that
eternity.
Thank you. Mm-hmm.
So, what inspired you to write a book? Not one book, not 2 books, but 3 books.
Yeah, well, I have 3 here. I always say self-praise is no recommendation. So when people ask me, well, how many books have you written? I said, well, the Lord has written a few through me. But in explaining what led me to write, I would have to go back a little bit in my history in terms of when you say, who am I? There was a very, very difficult time in my life when I was on remand in an English prison. And I was locked down about 23 hours a day in a cell with no toilet in there. And it was a rough experience. I was married at the time, young family. But because of drug smuggling and just running with the wrong crowd, I found myself, the bottom fell out one day, which my mother warned me back in the days when I was on the playground.
Yeah, but we don't ever think that. How many times you done fell off the monkey bars, or we know somebody done fell off the monkey bars?
Hard ears make a...
Yep.
My mom's thing was, God rest her soul, show me your company, I'll tell you who you are. That's what, lay down with dogs, you'll get up with fleas. So wound up locked down 23 hours a day and found the Gideon Bible in the cell and started reading it. Because prior to that, I had a lot of negative experiences coming from Jamaica into New York City as a child. In the community that I lived in, which predominantly had people that looked like us, but because I spoke with an accent and dressed differently, I was ridiculed, outcast, bullied, and mocked. When I got out of the neighborhood, that's when I encountered, N-word. Go back where you come from, N-word. So I just became bitter, and at some point thought that I wasn't going to live to see like my 30th birthday. So I just started just running with the wrong crowd, getting crazy and wild, and that caused my life to spiral out of control and wound up on remand in England for smuggling. And when I found that Bible in the Gideon cell, on one particular evening, I got to John 5:39 and 40, when the Lord was speaking to the Pharisees, and he said, search the scriptures because you think in doing so. But these are they that testify of me, yet you refuse to come to me to have life.
Oh, man.
And that's when I realized, I said, you know what, I'm really hearing the voice. It's as if he was speaking directly to me at that point. And I went in there, I leafed in there to find out how I can receive him into my heart. And I confessed my sins and my faults. And eventually I got sentenced to 8 years. But when I got to the place where I was going to serve the sentence, it was called the Isle of Sheppey. It was next to a pig farm. It was a rough place because when the wind used to blow in the summer, they used to be filled up with the stench of the hogs.
Yeah, I've been saying, well, I know that was a bad time.
Yeah, I was like, it wasn't a playground. It was a
different kind of playground.
The hog ground, yeah. But the main thing about it is, I was a different individual at that point. I was born again. My life had been transformed, and I wanted to tell other individuals, inmates, that their lives could be transformed.
That they're not where they're at, they're what they choose to be.
Exactly. So when my cell door opened, I just went out telling everybody that I can what happened. I invited them to my cell, and before I knew it, I had a lot of inmates in the cell, and I was just sharing with them the goodness and the mercy of God, and I saw the transformation take place. So when I got sent back to the United States, I was working at a mortgage company later, and then I went to visit a friend, and she had just like this setup, she had a book sitting up on the cabinet. Mm-hmm. And I inquired about it, and she says, hey, you know what, I wrote a book. And I just said it kind of matter-of-factly. When she said that, I said, well, you know, I'd like to write a book one day. It just came out, and she says, I'll help you. Just like that. But my purpose for taking it serious when she said that was, I wanted to put the testimony of where the Lord brought me from in the book so I could send them back into the prisons. That was my only desire.
So that way, they have something relatable.
I like that you use that word, yes. And they could get hope because they saw someone who went from the
who was where they were,
and
now are doing something different.
Exactly. Published author, you know, back
writer.
home to my family, writer, minister. Mm-hmm. So it would give them hope. My brother at the time was doing a life sentence, still is. And I wanted to put the testimony in the book also to send it in to him. And the first book is titled Mercy and the Sufficiency of Grace. When I sent it to him, he called me and he says, you know what? He says, inmates doing football sentences are coming up to me with tears in their eyes. Now, prison's not a place to show weakness.
No.
No, that's not the place for that. So the fact that the testimony was moving these men, some of them lifers, some of them doing 45 years, he said they came up to him with the book saying, tell your brother I said thank you. Because he found his purpose, distributing the books in there. And he said, they're saying, when's the next book coming out? So I wrote the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and then 2 a year.
Inspiration.
And I'm still doing that now. As I write one and send it, they want to know when the next one's coming out.
So you still giving hope
through
praise, experience, and transformation.
Absolutely, because I am the recipient of hope. You know, there's
experience and transformation.
And transformation. So I believe we're blessed to be a blessing. You know, to whom much is given, much is required. To whom much is forgiven, loveth much. So when the Lord was gracious enough to first transform my life through salvation, and then return me back unto my wife and children, giving me another opportunity, I felt I had an obligation to him to do what I could do to help other individuals who were in my situations, the situation that he delivered me from, or even worse situation.
Oh, wow. And
that's how the authorship and the book writing came about.
So do you have another one on the horizon?
Actually, in total, the Lord has graced me to write, I think, like 14.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
so it's
So you got a series.
yeah. Quite a few.
Oh man, that is once
Yeah.
again, it's transformation through experience and perspiration.
Yeah,
Insane.
yeah,
But the best qualities in the world, because you didn't have to make those changes
right,
in your life. You could have just accepted where you was
right,
and became a part of the problem where you were,
right.
instead of being a
Yeah.
part of a solution
And that would have
to
been
get
easy.
yourself to move on.
And that would have been easy to do because obviously when you're in prison, you're surrounded by criminal-minded people. So there's always a lot of scheming and stuff. So you have to. It's difficult to navigate, especially because a lot of times individuals go and they become Muslims. So when you're a Christian, bona fide in the prison system, you become really like a lamb among wolves.
Yeah, you a target.
You're definitely a target. But I knew my life had been transformed and I was going to be living it according to the word. I just put my trust in God and said, you know what, he'll guide me and protect me through this. And he did. He did.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
That is wonderful.
Oh, yeah.
That is.
Well, my mindset was, there were several times my life could have been taken when I was in the streets, right? And when I was
That street life ain't gonna play with.
right, when I was steeped in sin. So I'm like, God protected me then, even when I wasn't serving him. So I said, he certainly can protect me in here because I'm on assignment now.
Right, and you're passing the word.
Yeah, right. I went full force into
And you got followers who are following in the word,
right.
but it's like you're a disciple of the word through the books.
Exactly. I was a disciple and I was discipling others. So I found the purpose, I found the true calling that I love beyond anything else, still do. And the Lord guided me and protected me and used my life in there to impact the inmates I came in contact with that came to the Bible study. And then through the books now, he's been in since many, many years, since 2007. He's been impacting
Your life.
yeah, and using the writing to impact other lives.
Man, now have had any of them written to you?
Oh yeah. I mean, over the
That
years,
is-
I've gotten letters, and inmates come on the phone all the time. They call me and say thank you. You're a very good writer. I had one particular inmate because my brother is battling bladder cancer, and the Lord has really, really kept him because of the work he's doing. So he's in a federal medical center. So it's a lot of suffering, sickness, misery.
In that center.
And I have a book called DNA, Who's Your Daddy? And I remember an inmate got on the phone and said, next to the Bible, this is the best book I've ever read because it has answered all my questions about my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. And I mean, I was very humbled by that. So that's the kind of impact the writing has been having on that particular demographic of individuals.
Man, that is nice. You said you have 14 books, so basically you have a series of books.
Yeah.
You have a lot of lives you've transformed via just your own words and
Yes.
experiences.
Yeah. But
So-
you said it earlier. I mean, it gives them hope. No matter what they did in life, to land in that particular place. The amount
You
of
still got
that
time to make change no matter what.
As long as you're alive, God has a plan for your life as long as you're alive, and it's a plan to prosper you. But there's a process.
In order to do
there's
so.
something that's required of you for that process with Him to get started, and that's repenting, turning, having a change of heart and a change of mind. And for me, of course, it's what the Bible says, receiving Yeshua, Jesus, to have that salvation. That begins the process now of a life with Him, a life that can be used for Him in the earth realm to transform other lives.
Man, that's deep. That is real deep. So when you're not writing, what else is Fidel doing?
Well, I travel a lot for ministry, of course, because once I got back from England, the Lord started opening up doors for me to travel and evangelize. But one of the passion for me right now, I was in Jamaica in 2019, and I was getting ready to minister under a tent, and there were several men much younger than me, but their posture was like this. I could tell by the body language. It's like, okay, what you gonna say to us?
Yeah, what you finna try to teach us?
Right, right. Because let's just be honest. When it comes to Christianity, when it comes to the church, sometimes the reputation is not that great because of what people have said and done. So I could understand. So I remember I heard in the spirit, before you preach to them, tell them where I brought you from. So I shared the testimony.
Right.
I said, hey, I didn't always have the opportunity or the blessing to stand and minister to anybody. And I shared exactly what I just shared here. And after the message, a couple of them came up to me, and one of them, who seemed to be the leader of the two, he looked at me and said emphatically, I can listen to you preach anytime because you're real. And the Lord spoke something to me, and I used the word that you used earlier. He said, they listen to you because they could relate to you. They see that you've been somewhere, you've been through something.
They can relate because they struggle.
Yes.
Even though it's not the same, they can see the struggle that they have in you.
Right. I'm not just some preacher that's dressed up.
Trying to get to Bentley.
Yeah, trying to preach and get an offering. I've been through something. So when they said that, I heard the Lord say, when you get back to Florida, I want you to write a book based on John 1:6, which reads, there was a man sent from God to be a witness of the light. His name was John. He was not the light, but he was sent to be a witness of the light, that through him all men may believe. And the idea is that men should be bearers and witnesses of the divine light in all strata of society, on the job, in school, in the ministry, etc., etc., etc. And he says, when the book is complete, I'm going to send you back on the ground, but not just to minister in word, but also in deed. In other words, you're going to demonstrate that which you're teaching. So, 2020, the pandemic came in. By the time 2022 came around, the Lord said, finish the book now and get ready to go. By 23, we were on the ground with a lot of the men's book, Men Void of Light, Father, Where Are You? Mm-hmm. And barrels, 77 gallon barrel rice, food, toiletry, you name it. And we were distributing it to the elderly, widows, orphans, single parent homes. And we saw the power of God's love demonstrated in the preached message and also in the acts of kindness. So we're preparing, my wife and I, now to get back on the ground. We just shipped 15 barrels, the big blue, and then also 2D containers. And it's called Fishing for the Souls of Men, right? Of course, women and children, families. Jamaica Mission Possible. And it's a play on the show Mission Impossible. But Jamaica Mission Possible. That's the passion right now, missions work, evangelism.
Well, that's great because you help those who are truly in need.
Right.
And you get to spread the word via that same way.
Right. Yeah. Well, the foundation of the faith it's not vain religion, it's love, right? And it's the Greek word agape, which means a love feast. And love finds its truest essence when it's manifested in action, not talk. So the idea is that the church, quote unquote, the people should not be confined in walls all the time, but we must go outside of the four walls.
Right, to help those outside.
Right, because that's what the Messiah did, right?
Yeah, because it's nice to have four walls, but if you're not trying to help the people, then who are you helping?
What is the purpose, right?
If I got to go fill out a tax form for my church to help me.
I was telling somebody the other day, it's not the government that's supposed to be taking care of the poor. We've been given the instruction as a body, right? James said, pure and undefiled religion is this, to visit the fatherless and the widows in their affliction, and to keep ourselves unspotted from the world. And we understand that we're supposed to keep ourselves unspotted, but it's interesting that he put visiting the fatherless and the widows in their affliction first, to let us know how important it is. In the Old Testament, it says, he that hath pity or lendeth to the poor, giveth to the poor, lendeth to God, and he shall repay. So the gospel, the good news, has to be demonstrated. It's spoken in word, but it's demonstrated in love. And the love is to the demographic that in Matthew 25, he called them the least of these, the hungry, the prisoner, the naked, we're supposed to have an impact, not the government.
And I believe that because back then it was the church
Of course.
that did it.
Of course.
It wasn't the government until the government decided to have to want that power because it's a sense of control.
Right.
So having that control over people, y'all know what I'm talking about. Having that control over people, which you shouldn't have. You should want to help all people without strings attached.
Right. That's the agape. It's a love that has no strings attached to it. That's the key. It's an unselfish kind of. It sounds weird saying selfish love, but
no, there's definitely a selfish love. I did this because I want this.
Right.
Instead of doing it with nothing to gain in return, or in this hopes of getting nothing in return.
Right. Because, to be honest, we had nothing whatsoever redeemable to offer the Almighty, right? It was pure love that caused the salvation to be provided for us. And He expects us now to emulate that and manifest that in the earth realm. And that's the passion right now for me, the mission, the evangelism, and of course teaching, but more so demonstrating the goodness of the heart of God.
Man, that is awesome because like I said, now people need it more than ever. They need something to believe in. They need to know that everybody's not a crab in a bucket.
Right.
That if you surround yourself not with greatness, because greatness don't make you a great person.
Right.
Greatness just means that you're somebody's version of nice.
Right.
But surround yourself with people who are willing to help you grow how they grow.
Yeah. In terms of shining the light, right? Because only light can dispel darkness. My brother, when he calls me a lot of times, he'll say, well, I wish I was out there to help you. And my response to him is always, shine the light wherever you are.
Yeah, that's turn that light on, shine it where you're
at.
Shine it where you're at. Because you can spread it where you're at. I can spread it where I'm at.
That's the idea. Yeah, it'll be nice.
And we can reach more people.
Yeah, we're praying for you to have a miracle to come out. But in the interim, just be the light where you are.
Yeah.
That's your responsibility.
Because, you're going to see multiple people coming through there.
Yeah.
So
you have an opportunity
shine the light on them.
To shine the light. So even for our audience on the podcast playground, we see individuals in the forefront, and they have a lot going on, and a lot of glamour. Don't envy anybody. Wherever you are, wherever your sphere of influence, you shine the light there. Yeah,
because envy, you never know what's behind the curtain of that envy. Everybody's walls are different.
You don't know. You've not walked the journey in the other person's shoe.
Nope.
And you don't know what they have gone through to get it, and what they have to do to maintain it. So you just be the best you can do in order to shine your light, the light of goodness into the world.
Just live for yourself, your faith, and those around you. Surround yourself with those people around you that are actually trying to make moves in the positive direction. Because not all moves are great, not all moves are bad.
Right.
But some moves will just have you standing still.
Right. Exactly.
So you have to figure out if that's your best use case scenario when you're in the process of doing that.
Right.
So
that's the key.
That, like I said, that's awesome. The fact that you've authored 14 books, you've published 14 books, and you're still distributing these books out amongst the people via your brother, via yourself, and you're getting ready to go on the road again. Yeah, missions July. Actually, we're going to be shipped already. It's going to get there. And this year is very, very important. All years are important, but months ago, Jamaica got hit with one of these 100-year hurricanes, Melissa. And the western part of the island got decimated, just terrible. And even months later, there are people whose houses, no roofs. I think a high percentage of the people still don't have power. So we want to get on the ground and do what we can to alleviate the suffering. And that's a beautiful thing, because nobody should suffer. You still gotta put pride aside and ask for help. I like that, pride aside. Still, no one should suffer.
Well, I mean, when you think about it, right, there's enough wealth and resources in this entire earth that no child should ever go to sleep hungry,
And I agree.
lacking medical care, not having clean
Clothing,
water.
the bare necessities, because once
At least the
again,
minimum.
nobody's ever asked to be born.
No,
I've never
no,
met a
no.
person yet say, man,
Yeah.
when I was in the womb, I was like, let me be born.
Or asked to be poor.
So you are where you choose to be
Hmm.
until you choose not to be there.
Right. I always say the journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step.
And it does.
Yeah, and we need to. There are individuals who are in positions of vulnerability, and we need to help them to make that first step. And
But
that's
you
the
got to
key.
be willing to make that first
Well, that's
step.
the thing
That's
about
the key.
it.
Because no man can move no mountain
Yeah.
unless
Yeah.
that mountain's ready to be moved.
You have to have that's where it starts, having a willingness. So for me, when I looked around, I remember, a lot of fights in prison start over the phone and stuff like that. So it took me a long time to phone home. I wrote. But when it was time, the time came, I phoned home. And I remember it was a particular, I'll never forget this as long as I live. My wife put my son Mario on the phone. And he said some words that pierced my heart and brought me to tears. Excuse me. He said, "Daddy, when you're coming home." In his young voice, I could hear that he was missing his father. And the realization hit me at that particular point that I had failed as a husband, failed as a father, left my wife exposed to poverty, and just failed as the decent human being that my mother had raised me to be. So what I did was I made a vow. I said, "Lord, if and when you open the prison door for me, I'm going to do before you open it, I'm going to do the best I can to encourage others in here that this is not the ending for them."
No, it's a choice at a new beginning, but
Yeah.
you got to want to make that new beginning.
make it wanna
Because
make
I
a
had
new
that
beginning.
same conversation with my nephew. He went to jail.
Mhm.
He was finna get out and ended up getting more time. Then he
Mhm.
got out, and I told him, I said, look, starts from today.
Mhm.
What you gonna do?
Right. Mhm. So I said, if and when you open the door, I'm going to work to do something. The obvious things is I'm going to work on being a father in a godly manner, a husband, an asset and not a liability in society. But then I said, Lord, I'm going to always endeavor to do something great for you. In other words, that my life would be a great impact on the lives of people I come in contact with or people you send me to. So when he said that to me, Mario said that to me, it pierced my heart. That I could hear the longing that he had in his heart, not having his father around. And by the grace of God, God allowed me. It's interesting because, he was a lover of basketball when he was young. And I remember at some point he came to me and says, "Daddy, I need to get a 900 on the SAT and a 3.0, because he realized basketball wasn't going to be his future. So he needed a 900 on the SAT and a 3.0 to get the bright future, the scholarship in Florida. And my instructions to him were, you put in the work in terms of studying and just let the Lord do the rest." He came back to me months later. He said, "Daddy," I said, "What?" He said, "I got a 900 on my SAT and I got a 3.0 GPA.
Can't knock that. Can't
Went on
knock
to
that.
the University of West Florida and graduated with a degree in business and is very successful now."
See,
Mhm.
you put that work in. You made that change because you could have came back out. You could have did the same thing that you went in for.
Exactly.
Showed him a whole different life.
Different light, yeah.
But you decided to follow the word
Yes.
and keep that change
Yeah.
and not make that change while you was in there because it was convenient.
Right. It's interesting when you say that because a friend of mine, we talk about this from time to time, when he first heard that my life had been turned around in terms of spirituality, he and others would say, "Oh, that's just for parole." You know what I mean?
And
Well,
the funny part, the funny part is
it happens.
the best
Yeah.
people are the people who adapt to where they're at just
Yeah.
to get through what they're
Oh,
doing.
yeah, but I had a genuine encounter and that led to transformation. So, of course, when I got out and the first year passed, and I was like all in, second year passed, they were waiting, no drinking, no nothing. committed.
Stayed focused.
Yeah. They realized
Knew that you had a purpose and a
yeah,
cause.
they realized that, oh, it's real. It's real, you know.
Yeah, because a lot of people think that you're going to go back until you don't. And then they're like, now he's changed.
They know, they see the fruit.
Right. Because you had to put in a lot of work, and it wasn't easy. It's not easy to make change when you're doing something so long that it just becomes second nature.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
That's
the new birth we talked about, right?
Yep, that's transformation.
Transformation, yeah. So that's where my heartbeat is right now, my passion. So from that point, many years ago, I dedicated my life. I said, Lord, you gave me another opportunity. You know, we say second chance, but I mean, I had used up a lot of chances. So it was another and another and another. You know, my second chance had been used up years ago. So the Lord gave me another chance. So when that happened, I said,
well, technically, those were all still first.
In a sense, yeah.
Because if you didn't change, it's not even another chance.
Right. And I like to give him the glory and the credit that he changed me, and then he showed me my purpose and calling in life, my as an advocate for the suffering.
Oh man, that's beautiful.
Yeah,
that is beautiful. Now let me ask you a question: how can people get these books?
Actually, the books are on Amazon and Barnes and Nobles, but I always usually like to sign them. So. You know, you can contact me. If you're on social media, I'm on all sites under my name, Fidel Donaldson. Or if you want to reach out to me, you can call me, 904-881-1886. That's 904. Actually, there it is. I got to get used to the technology, and there it is again.
That's what I'm saying. So you guys see it. It's on the screen.
It's on the screen.
Don't slip on it.
Yeah.
You can get your copy just like I got mine. And let me tell you, somebody such as myself, I haven't purchased a book since the last book fair. I'm 51, so that tell you the last time I went to a book fair.
Oh, wow. It's been a minute.
But I got to say, last weekend I went out with my girls and my wife. We went to the history of photography.
Oh, wow.
And I just happened to pass by the book. I was like, I want a book.
Wow.
And I was like, man, for those who know me, y'all know, boy, look at here. But I tell you, don't text me, call me. Because I ain't trying to read that stuff. If I ain't got to read it, I'm not trying to read it. Just text me, and I mean, just call me, and we just get this conversation over with, and then it's a wrap. Man, this book is... I'll be reading this thing for about 3 months. Wow, nice. It's thick.
That's nice.
It is super thick.
Unfortunately, the older we get, the less we read, I say, except for street signs. Because we're so busy. But reading is still fundamental.
Oh, I think it sharpens the mind.
Yeah.
And that's why I try not to read, because I don't need no more sharp things in my mind. But if it's worth the time, it's worth the read. Yeah. And it was just one of those things that caught my attention, because I'm an ADHD kid. It caught my attention, and I said, I got to get this. I spent $80 on a book. And
wow.
Yeah, that's what I said. I was even shocked that I spent $80 on a book.
That must have been some book.
That's so far, knock on wood, yes. But I was like, man, that's something for me to go buy a book.
Right.
And then for you to come over and gift me a book.
Men void of life, Father, where are you?
That says volumes too. And I promise you, I will definitely read it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to you reading it and getting some feedback. And one of the reasons why I encourage people to support the books on Amazon, Barnes & Noble directly is because I send them into the prisons out of pocket. And so the support that they give to the books also helped me to be able to do that, and help me with the mission too.
Right, it helps you. Instead of him breaking back into y'all houses.
Well, I was a smuggler.
But no, not you. Not you.
Right. Oh, you mean...
right. Instead of them breaking back into y'all houses, we can send them books.
Yeah.
You can help us send them books that can hopefully make transformation possible. so they won't break into your house.
I mean, that's powerful because and if an individual is coming back into the community, you want that individual transformed.
You do, because that's the purpose.
Yeah, you want them to be an asset coming back, not a liability.
And, you know, there are so many things. The one thing that really got me was the fact that if you can go to jail for, let's say, drug sales, right? You got a heck of a marketing scheme.
Oh, yeah.
So you know marketing. You know marketing and you know financing. Because you know you done fronted some people.
Yeah.
You know that this is how much I'm supposed to get back.
And international also, right?
But that's my point. So you're not stupid.
No.
You are great,
business.
but at the wrong things.
That's brilliant that you said that, right? You have a skill set, you're just applying it
In the wrong area.
in the wrong area with the wrong products. That's
Right.
all.
Yeah, because you have a great skill set.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can grow it, think of how many people it took for you to get on your side to grow your sales.
Right. And the beautiful thing now is with the internet, I mean, it is your avenue to the world in terms of markets.
Yeah,
right?
it's your outlet.
Yeah. There's no reason why individuals can't tap into that and monetize whatever they're doing. Because, I mean, internet's all over the world. And you have access to markets all over, the people all over the world.
Well, think about how many people you've touched over the years
Many.
with your story.
Many.
And I know some of y'all are still just getting out, or you could be sitting in right now and you have a story that you could put to paper or put behind video as a documentary that could help the next person sitting next to you when you were locked up.
As you mentioned,
Why wouldn't
documentary. That's my next dream, to get the testimony into a docudrama.
Well, I would say, like they say on television, let's do it.
Let's do it. Yeah. the will and the heart is ready to go.
Because people's past change people's futures.
That's good.
It literally does. Because I remember when I was young, I would see older people driving nicer cars. And the one thing it made me say was, why do I got to get old to drive a nice car?
Right. You don't have to.
I want to drive one now before I get old.
Right.
And then I said, I went to go work for Key Buick. And the top of the line car was one that the seniors were getting. Because it was like sitting on the couch, riding on the couch. They ain't got to worry about no bumps. So if you got back problems, you ain't got to worry about that in the Skylark.
Oh, I remember the Skylark.
Yeah, it's a couch on wheels. You just cruise on where you're going. So I had to get me one. I just kept saving and building up and running. I got one. You couldn't tell me nothing. But now that we know where we can get these books, because y'all need to get these books. And Fidel's not playing, he's praying, and he's helping people.
I like that.
So I need y'all to join in.
Yeah.
And I'm not asking you to pray, because if you're on the playground, you might get your knees dirty. I know some of y'all people don't like dirty knees. But what I'm asking you to do is get to the bottom of the slide, pick up a book, spread the word.
Yeah. And follow me on all social media platforms. Stay connected, because I'm definitely praying and encouraging. I speak to a lot of different inmates. I speak to the family members of inmates. It's my life's calling, and I do it with joy.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
And with that, sir, I want to definitely say thank you. And this is definitely not the last time I want to have you on here.
Thank you for having me. I'm having a lot of fun on the playground.
Look, man, I'm telling you, this playground is not like any other.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said before, we don't have the monkey bars.
We don't play on the playground.
No, we don't. Well, look, we had to remove the monkey bars for lawsuit purposes for y'all little soft families out there.
Yeah. But then again, we do play on the playground. Different kind of play.
Yeah, we do all kinds of playing on the playground, whether you are an architect, a doctor, a writer, a movie maker. We don't discriminate. Come on down.
Yes.
Come on down to the playground and have a good time. But with that being said, As always, thank you for playing on the playground, and look forward to seeing you back.
Thank you, brother.
And
Appreciate it.
I'm finna head over to the swings, because you know how I love to swing on the swings. I'm a holler. We out.
Thank you. Thank you.